Today we are here in this very special podcast with Mangal sir, who you've probably seen in the DNS, who was like a celebrity for us also when we were watching DNS. And today I had the privilege to talk to him, and he is going to call it a topper's talk, but it's not. It's just us talking about UPSC journey. So here we are.
But it is the other way around, and today we have with us topper of Civil Services Examination 2020. She has secured All India Rank 14. So let us have an interaction with Karishma Nair, who is the topper of last year's Civil Services Examination 2020. And it's a great opportunity to interact with you, Karishma. Welcome to RAU'S IAS. And we will be discussing some of the questions, your journey of preparation, what motivated you to become an IAS officer, and would like you to throw some insights to the aspirants who are watching this video. So first question that I would like to ask you is that what motivated you to become or choose civil services as an option? So what was your journey like? Why did you start the preparation in the first place? Please throw some light for our aspirants, please.
So when I was a student in school, people would always be like, okay, this could be a career. I remember when we were kids also, we would be like, oh, we knew of an IAS officer, but it was never something which is in my head. But in college, I had done forensic science. Okay. So I wanted to join the police services in the second year of college because I had interacted with the police and I had seen how evidence is better handled if the police is better trained. Okay. So I thought that my training in forensic science would be better used if I had some authority to ensure how forensic science could be helpful. So I wanted to join the police. So that's how I started preparation. So I started preparation in my second year of college. Okay. And till I properly chose an optional, it was to join the police service.
So it was the IPS that motivated you the most initially?
Yes. So most of my friends, even when I got the result, they're like, oh, you'll be a very good IPS officer, and they don't know that my dream had changed midway. Yes. So then during preparation, I took public administration as my optional. Okay. And that is also the time when I was watching a lot of YouTube videos of administrative service officers. I also got an opportunity to interact with a few officers who were in service. So all of that together, and the fact that I was very smitten by development administration, then I was like, okay, the IAS is something that I would want to aspire for. So then both the attempts, I had given IAS as my first preference and the IPS as my second.
So I think that is what should be the role of the optional subject, that it should inspire you and give you the right direction to get into which service you want to, and what role will the optional play in your preparation, right?
Yeah, but sadly that's not applicable to all optionals.
Yes, of course. But public administration is, of course, it is one of the closest to the civil services examination.
Yes, that it indeed is.
Now, Karishma, many aspirants will be graduating this year from their college. Some of them are doing engineering, others are doing MBAs or the law, chartered accountants, all of them. What suggestion do you have for them as far as civil services as a career is concerned? How is civil services as a career as compared to the careers that some of the careers like MBA, you get a job after MBA, or you get jobs in engineering. So how do you compare civil services as a career as compared to the other careers that are available in India, of course?
So I think there is a clear difference between the professional courses that you just mentioned. Yes. And the civil services. The impact that you can create and the diversity of roles that you have in the civil services will be much broader. So if that is something that excites you, and if you think that you don't want to limit yourself to just one professional setting, I think the civil services provides that canvas on which you can take up different roles, and then you can learn on the go on those roles also. So I think that is something that it still excites me. I'm still very excited that it's going to be a lifetime of just learning in different roles. So I think that is the most attractive thing of civil services, plus the fact that you get to meet people, you get to try and be a part of a solution to a problem. And just today we were talking about how this is a very exciting phase for India in general. Yes. So you get to be a part of that growth story through the civil services. So I think it is a very humbling as well as a very enriching profession to choose. And to fresh graduates, I would say, I was someone who didn't have a backup plan. Okay. I did not have a job. Yes. So at times, to be honest, it is very, very frustrating to see your friends do well at a young age and you are still reading 6th standard NCERT. So yeah, I mean, fresh graduates have the advantage that you still have the zeal, but you might have moments of self-doubt. So you need to acknowledge the fact that you've made a decision. It might be a tough decision initially, but you need to keep at it.
Oh, that's great. So many of the aspirants who are graduating from the college have this concern that should we have a plan B or not? Should civil services be the only plan they should pursue, or should there be a plan B, like they pick up a job and then prepare for the civil service examination? So what do you suggest to all these aspirants?
So I'll give you a very So earlier I was one of those people who would be like, my plan B is to stick to plan A, and I was very boisterous about it. But it is very hard, okay? So there will be times when you are jobless and you've not cleared the exam and you think that you are a dependent at the age of 23, 24, when you should be like earning, right? So at that time you would obviously think that it would have been better if I had a backup. But for me that worked, like the guilt of not having a job worked as an extra pressure, so that there is no alternative pushed me more to do this. So if you would ask me, should we have a backup? It depends on what kind of a person if you are. If guilt bothers you so much that you won't perform, then you should have a backup.
Yes.
But if it's something that you think that it will motivate you to do better, then it's okay to like give everything to this. And I really respect people who do it with a full-time job. I couldn't do it in my first attempt, even though I was doing just this. So if you can manage time with a job, I think it is good to have a backup. But personally, I didn't have one, and it has worked well for me. So I don't think I should preach either. I've given you both sides of the story. So I just hope that you can see it from both lights and create and make your own decision.
So you are trying to give a balanced answer like what is required in the UPSC. Yes. So clearly Karishma has outlined that it is a personal choice. If you are comfortable working and if job is a really important thing for you, you pursue that, and along with that you start preparing. But if you are comfortable preparing full-fledgedly for the examination, you can quit your job and also start preparing for that. Yes. So coming to the next very important issue that the civil services aspirant face as to how to manage the stress in the civil services examination. You yourself got selected in the second attempt, and you didn't. What was your feeling after you didn't qualify the first attempt because you reached till the interview level stage? So that would have been really disappointing for you. So how did you manage the mental stress that this civil service preparation brings? And plus you cracked the second attempt when the COVID pandemic was also going. Everybody was concerned, will they be infected, and every kind of mental trauma was there. So how did you handle that particular issue? Please throw some insights onto that.
So it cannot be stressed enough that how uncertain this exam is. The first attempt I was very confident that I'm clearing it. I was sure I'm going to get rank 4. Like I imagined my topper's talk. So this was something that was constantly in my head, ki clear to ho raha hai. So when the result came, I still remember I was at home and my parents were there, and I'm like scrolling down, and I didn't come in the top 100. And in my head I was like, Achha, I have to give the exam again, because never did it occur to me ki PDF mein nahi aayega. I was like, niche, it's coming. And there was some other Karishma who made it last year, and many people congratulated me last year ki they didn't know my full name. So
that would have added to your agony.
And I had to be sweet about it. I was like, sorry, that's not me. And so it is a little, it was very traumatizing. On a serious note, it was the first academic failure that I had faced, and for many UPSC is the first.
Yes, it is the first failure, because some of them have been really successful in their colleges or in graduations. Something.
And also it is something that if you do well in other academics, people think, ye to isse ho jayega. So that is something that we need to stress on, that a lot of things have to align together for you to clear this exam. It's not that it's not ki maine first attempt mein mehnat kam ki thi, right? So you just have to change a few strategies here and there, and there is a lot of uncertainty, a lot of subjectivity which still happens. There are so many people I know who've put in more amount of effort, who I know are much more intelligent but still don't clear it. So it cannot be stressed enough that this exam is a little random, but you can give it your time and effort, and that is what happened in the first attempt. I was very shattered, but I had 2 months left for prelims, and because I was so overconfident, I didn't study before the result came. I was like, clear to ho gaya. After interview and before the result, I was very chill. So it was very difficult to pull myself up from first reaction is, what will I do with life? Like, it was not like abhi aage, it's like zindagi mein kya karna.
So all of a sudden an existential question came.
So another thing, we make this exam we identify our self-worth with this exam, which is a very harmful. I did the same thing the first attempt. So it's very important to have like a support system which will, so my mother would be like, hey, we'll cry tomorrow, abhi pad lo, we'll cry after prelims, abhi pad lo. So if you're staying in the you make that choice very quick. Don't stay in the cycle if you think ki nahi ho raha. Then you look for an alternative. So be very I would say that what worked for me last year is I became very honest with myself after I didn't clear. Because first attempt to hawe mein I was like, I'm the best wala. Then I sat and I was like, I'm going to be honest with myself. Then
reality sinks in.
So if you're honest with yourself about your preparation, about the assessment of how you've given the exam, and about how things might not work out even if you've put in everything.
Yes.
So that helped me to, okay, I was like, okay, mains mein I could do this better, and I made an assessment ki these are the things I should be working on, and then I did that, and I'm very grateful that it worked out well this year. So mental health and stress is something. So another thing is like, abhi people think, oh, because we have cleared it, we never faced motivational challenges and we were motivated throughout. Even one night before the result, I was not sure of clearing the exam. That's just how uncertain this is. So
yes,
it's not that I still couldn't complete my papers. I still cried over bad tests.
Okay.
So this vulnerability is there with even toppers, right?
Yes,
we
of course,
have
it
to
is with everyone.
normalize. Yeah, we have to normalize not having good marks in this exam and not equate it to a person's personal abilities. So it is just that you need to make tweaks in your
and I think that is what our GS paper 4 teaches us, to be emotionally intelligent.
Yeah, maybe
to
that's
be
why
not
I
bogged down by the emotions.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that is what
So I think that is the key role of GS paper 4 as far as the handling of the stress and the mental health issue that you need to focus.
Correct.
So coming to the most important part in the preparation of civil service examination, that is current affairs. You introduced me in this video where you talked about the DNS and the current affairs and how you prepared current affairs. So just a quick insight into how you prepared current affairs and how DNS helped you, or what do you suggest to the aspirants who are preparing the current affairs for the next year's examination?
So I know a lot of people are boggled by current affairs.
Yes.
I was one of those people initially because to be honest, my mother will still say that she was only reading masala newspaper till college. Then to start Hindu, to start Indian Express, the transition is a little difficult.
Yes, it's difficult.
And that is the same with me. So when I joined coaching, I remember every day I would like wake up in the morning before coaching, I would read the newspaper.
Okay.
In the night, I would watch DNS and I would read a daily compilation website of current affairs. So I made it a point to do this on a daily basis.
Okay.
Then the monthly magazines, I used to read Focus and another 2 magazines I would read, and I would revise them after 3 months. I would go back to the previous one.
So you had a full structure for covering the current affairs.
So I was sure that if I don't have current affairs in my control, this is not going to happen.
Yes, this is beyond your control. Then.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
You have done everything that it takes to cover current affairs.
Yeah, because if I didn't do it on a daily basis and I didn't do it cumulatively, exam ke 2 mahine pehle, it would really...
Of course, it will all get out of your mind.
Yeah. So current affairs, for me, I think doing these 3 things on a daily basis and the monthly magazine on a monthly basis, and even the test series that I gave, the current affairs that I got from that, I made notes from them also.
Okay.
So that's why I think current affairs was something that I could manage somehow. So DNS again, I think was very important in the initial phases, especially because you don't really know what to go beyond
newspaper.
In the newspaper. So that way, and it's very nice that it's open source.
Yes.
I mean, it's free. Open source is a wrong word. That it's freely available on YouTube. So I think it's really helpful, especially for beginners.
Sure, Karishma. So it has been a great interaction with Karishma, where she has clearly outlined her motivation of getting into the civil services examination. She has also talked about how lucrative is the civil services examination or the civil services as a career is. And the most important thing that she talked about is how to handle the mental stress that comes up in the preparation of the civil services examination. And also she has given us a quick insight into how to prepare the current affairs for the civil services examination. Thank you so much, Karishma, for interacting with us and helping all the aspirants who are aspiring for this prestigious civil services examination. Congratulations once again, and we wish you have a great career in civil services examination.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Most welcome.